Hello, my name is Michael Goldstein. I'm a shareholder in the tax department of Corcoran Barberio. And today we are covering one of the sections dealing with Section 174 that has been changed by the Tax Act that just passed, one big, beautiful act. And here to speak further about Section 174 is Supervisor Michael Kelly. Take it away, Michael.
Hi there, my name is Mike Kelly and I'm a tax supervisor here at Kirkering Barberio. Today I'll be discussing how the recently passed One Big Beautiful Bill Act, or what we like to call OB3A, impacts Section 174 expensing and what that could mean for you and your business. With the passage of OB3A, several significant changes are taking effect that may influence both individual and business tax planning strategies. It's important to note that the impacts of this bill are still being interpreted, and we will continue to keep you updated as more guidance becomes available. So first things first, what is Section 174 and how does it affect your business? Section 174 expenses, also known as research and experimental or R&E expenses, refer to costs incurred by businesses in connection with their trade or business for discovering new information related to the development or improvement of a product or process. Typically, these costs are split into three different buckets. You have direct costs, which could include things like wages for research staff, materials, third-party contractor costs, anything that's tied to the R&E activities themselves. Then we have what's called indirect costs, which consist of overhead such as rent, utilities, and admin expenses for research facilities. And then lastly, we have what's called other costs, which can be anything from patent expenses, including attorney fees. This can also include software development costs and really any other R&E related travel expenses. Now let's talk about what changed in 2022. Prior to 2022, businesses could fully deduct Section 174 expenses in the year incurred. However, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, TCJA for short, of 2017 changed this. Starting in tax years after December 31st, 2021, businesses were required to capitalize and amortize these Section 174 expenses. For domestic research, they were being amortized over 5 years, and for foreign research, had to be amortized over 15 years. So from 2022 to 2024, businesses had to spread these costs out over time rather than being able to deduct them immediately. As you could imagine, this had a very sizable effect on businesses that were used to seeing these large 174 deductions each year. Now let's fast forward to 2025. On July 4th, 2025, President Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which reinstated full expensing of Section 174 domestic R&E expenses. And with that being said, it's important to note that foreign research still needs to be capitalized and amortized over 15 years. So there was no change here from what the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act put in place. This means that starting in 2025, businesses can once again deduct domestic R&E expenses in the year they are incurred. So what does this mean for your business? There are two main pathways available depending on your business size. There's what we're calling the special rule for certain small businesses. This basically means that if your business has average gross receipts of under $31 million for tax years 2022 through 2024, you have some options. And really the first of those options is you can elect to deduct Section 174 expenses immediately by amending your tax returns for the 2022 or through 2024 tax periods. Important to note that this election must apply to all applicable years, so you cannot pick year 2023, for example, and not amend 22 and 24. The amendment window for this would close on July 4th, 2026, which is 1 year from the bill's signing. This option is going to be very beneficial for businesses that were hit with higher tax burdens during those periods. And basically, if they can't fully absorb the 2025 through 2026 catch-up deduction, which we're going to be talking about next, this would be another reason why we might want to choose this amendment window as an alternative. Next, we have what's called the catch-up deduction. And this is going to apply to basically all your other taxpayers, so your large taxpayers and really anybody that doesn't choose to elect into deducting the expenses immediately and amending the returns. Basically, what this says is, if you're not eligible for the small business provision or choose not to amend, you still have options, right? So you can actually make an election to deduct the remaining unamortized domestic research costs from 2022 through 2024. So you can deduct them all at one time in 2025, or you can do them ratably over 2025 and 2026 tax periods. So what should you do next? To determine the best path forward, we'll really need to evaluate two things. Firstly, whether your business qualifies under the small business criteria. And then second, we're going to have to compare the benefits of amending those past returns versus taking the 25 or 2026 catch-up deduction. And as always, we're here to help you navigate these changes. The reinstatement of full 174 expensing under OB3A presents a valuable opportunity for our clients, but determining the best course of action depends on your specific circumstances. If you have questions on how these changes to 174 affect your business, please contact your Kirker & Barberio representative or Michael Goldstein. You can also visit our website at kbgrp.com for a full list of resources related to the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Thank you.